Welcome to the Life Changers Playbook. I am so excited to be here with you guys today because I have one of my good friends, and she's someone who has supported me in my business as we're getting going, as we're growing. So Neelu is an expert when it comes to social selling, what you need to be doing, how you need to be doing it to grow your business in the digital age. So with that said, go ahead, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you, who you are, and what you do.
For sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Neelu, and thank you, Justin, for the honor of having me on your show. So as Justin mentioned, I've kind of helped him with prepping and publishing of other episodes of this show. So I'm really excited to be on the other side of the camera. So I've been dabbling in the digital world for, I don't know, I'm going to say about at least 8 years. My expertise range from lots of different areas. I had that, I'm not going to say I have a shiny object syndrome because that's not really true, but I've tried different things. So first got into the industry or rather became an entrepreneur and tried out direct selling. So I did that for 5 years, and that's where I got all of my selling skills, and that went really well. And then somebody got a bright idea to go and get educated. So I went back to school, got a diploma in immigration consulting. Did not go that well because it was not very aligned with my personality. So quit that, and then I was like, what am I going to do now? Like, I have all these skills. And so I started consulting for different companies with pertaining to social media marketing, as well as business planning. So that's kind of where I built my relationships. And now what I do is I help entrepreneurs who are success driven to basically figure out a strategy for their social media marketing, and I help them with content marketing, as well as what I'm specializing now is Facebook group marketing. So that's, in a nutshell, what I do right now.
That is awesome. So talk to me about Facebook group marketing. What exactly is that? How does it work? Can you take us behind the scenes there?
Yeah, for sure. So, a number of years ago, when obviously, everybody uses social media, whatever platform. So some people use Facebook, some people use Instagram, some people use LinkedIn. But one of the things I see a lot of people struggling with is creating that connection and nurturing that relationship so that you're building trust and familiarity, right? Because as the algorithm has changed, especially in Facebook, I mean, it changes across the board on all the platforms, but I think a lot of people, because most people are on Facebook, right? They struggle with the Facebook one because it changes constantly. So what I saw in that transformation is that a lot of people went into marketing with their pages, and as Facebook started monetizing the pages and dropping that reach of those posts, people were not engaging their audience as effectively, right? They would post, they would spend all this time creating great content. They would post it, and you'd get 500 likes if you have a 7,000 following, right? I mean, in proportion, that's only a small proportion of people that are actually seeing your posts. So Facebook groups came along and kind of changed that, because now you get the opportunity to kind of funnel people into a group, and you get that almost like a one-on-one FaceTime with them, because there are certain strategies that you can use to get your content out to more people inside your group, as opposed to, the number of people that are on your Facebook page, right? Because,
right.
for Facebook's or any social media platform, their idea is we want people to stick on our platform. So when there's conversation happening, they, that post or that particular video will reach out to more people. So obviously content, the quality of the content and the value you bring plays a huge role in how far your posts are going to reach. But I've seen a lot more success inside of Facebook groups as opposed to the public forums.
Awesome. I love that. So thinking about Facebook groups, one of the things you mentioned a couple times, and in our conversations I've heard you say over and over and over again, is it's all about engagement. You've got to get people engaged. So what are some things that if someone had a Facebook group, what could they do to raise engagement, to get more people engaged in what they're doing in it?
So there's a couple of underlying factors here, Justin. So the first thing, it's not just about putting out posts and putting out questions. It's also about figuring out exactly what your audience is looking for, right? So what we do when we're actually working with a client or myself is, I try to gauge what that target audience is looking for. Right, so that's actually the first step we initiate when we bring on a client. We actually go in and we start asking questions. So asking questions, is a really great way to figure out where exactly your audience is, right? And the other thing along the same line is, you have to have kind of a persona created around your audience. You can't try and do everything and anything inside of a group, right? Because then you're going to get lots of people in there, yes, but they're not going to be engaging because not all the posts that you put out there is going to be relevant to them, right? And don't get me wrong, like when somebody stops engaging inside of a group, the algorithm will eventually stop showing them those posts, right? So there are ways to kind of get around that, but at the same time, if you're not getting, if your group is not engaging and you're just posting and posting, there's something off there which you need to fix, right? And often it is because you're not addressing the problems or you're not giving the solutions your audience is looking for in terms of that specific topic or industry that you're targeting.
Yeah. I love that. And it's so true. Like as soon as when you're trying to be something to everyone, you become nothing to everyone, right?
That's right.
They stop paying attention because it's, well, are you talking to the moms out there or are you talking to the business owners or who are you talking to?
Yeah.
So I think,
yeah, it's funny that you say that because there are actually people that when I ask them who your target market is, they say everyone. But the problem is when you're trying to, target everyone, your message is very loose. It's not targeted, right? So nobody is going to be paying attention.
Right.
So.
Exactly. Yeah. No, they won't pay attention at all. And it's your choice, but make sure you know what choice you're making. A lot of people I've talked to decide not to make a choice, but even not making a choice is making a choice.
Absolutely.
You've decided to abstain. Good for you. You still decided. So we've got to be really clear in who we're targeting and who we're putting in the group. What else should we be aware of as we're growing our Facebook group?
What else should you be aware of? Well, the thing is, when you're growing your group, you're going to become a little bit overwhelmed because there are little things that you're going to be needing to do. Engagement is key, right? So you can't just post something and then let the conversation take care of itself. You have to engage. So one of the mistakes that I see a lot of Facebook owners make is they schedule their posts and then they never come back to the group to engage. So unless you have a fairly large group, which is kind of propelling itself, you're not going to build authority that way. You have to keep showing up inside of your group. So the number one tip I can give you guys is like show up and do Facebook Lives. Like that's huge because your
Right.
audience gets to know you, right? It's not just your business, but your audience gets to know you, what kind of person you are, what kind of values you have. And yeah, so making sure that you're showing up and following through and engaging with your audience is going to improve your statistics inside of your group. Because the whole goal is for you to build relationships and nurture those relationships. And you want them to see you as the expert in your industry, right? So if you're not sharing your insight, they're not going to see that.
Right. It is so true. You don't get too caught up in, so through a book called Expert Secrets, Russell talks about the different attractive characters. And one is the reporter, which is going out and learning and bringing that knowledge back to the people. But
Right.
if you get too caught up in that, you don't build your own expertise. So I always recommend give credit where credit's due. But how much of what you're learning, how much of what you're sharing are a combination of things you've learned through your life experience that you combined, and now that becomes your idea, right? It's not your quote, but it's the concept, the way you've intertwined everything based on your experience in life, that is your idea. So don't give credit when it's a mix of everything that you've come up with. Now, when it is something someone else came up with, give credit, right? I'm not saying go steal stuff, but you gotta brand yourself as the expert. This is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. So I love that. Thank you so much. So what else should we be aware of? What else should we be looking at?
I think another thing that I want to mention is, this is something that I see a lot in, people who are starting out Facebook groups, right? Is they go in there and they try to pitch all the time. Like they don't necessarily give a lot of value, but they're trying to sell their services. So, my thing is I don't encourage people to sell inside the Facebook group. Yes, you want to give them the information, you want to give them the value, but then when you're actually selling, take them outside of the Facebook group, right? Because if Facebook is a social platform. I mean, we hear this all the time, right? It's not a place to go and pitch your offers. So when you keep showing up and all you're doing is pitching, you're gonna sound like this salesy person and most people don't like to be sold to, right? Especially if they don't know you.
Right.
If you have a relationship going and you say, hey, I have this solution. I know you guys are having this problem. Here's the solution I'm offering. Would you guys like to see more of it? Or would you guys, be interested in it? Gauge or validate your offer first, right? Don't just go and throw it out there and expect, 100 people to buy it, because they're not. If they don't even know that you're serving that purpose, they're not gonna be familiar with what you can do or what you can do for them, right? So validate your offer first, then build the relationships, and then offer it out and see who kind of bites. Take them outside of the platform, right? So that's another thing. A lot of people, they don't necessarily build a list outside of Facebook, outside of the group, which is a huge no-no. Because if your group gets shut down, or if Facebook decides to take out or giving groups the significance that they are right now, at some point down the line, right, you lost your whole following.
Right. And not only that, but I don't know about you, but about 2 days ago, Facebook was on the fritz, right? There were tons of problems and issues. And when that happens, you don't have access to that list, to that group, to what you've already created. So you've got to have that backup plan. I think that is such good advice. Thank you for that.
Yes,
So,
yes. Sorry, go
go
ahead.
ahead. What else?
No, I was going to say, like, what you said is absolutely right. You know, we depend on the social media platform so much, and it actually can hurt your business, right? So, for example, what happened a couple of days ago, people were still able to go into Facebook, but they were not able to view the videos or the images, which are like the way of catching people's attention, right? So they could see like a little caption of what the post was about, but the image or the video was blank, right? So that's another thing that you can make sure that, like, this goes for any social media platform. When you're putting out a video or an image, don't just like put 2 words and, you know, put the image and have all the text on the image. You know, write out some copy and explain what you're trying to do, because, you know, there's people who are visual that will you know, take the video and they would watch the video. But then there's also people who are not going to want to watch the video. They'd rather read the copy, right? So you want to make sure that you're catching both those audiences. And it works out when Facebook glitches happen too.
Right, right. I love it. I love it. So if people wanted help figuring out, how do I do this Facebook group stuff? How do I create that engagement and use my group and monetize it? I'm guessing you'd be able to help them. And where would they get that help?
Well, I have my own Facebook group. It's very small. I have just only started rebranding myself and, you know, advertising it. So it's called Facebook Group Growth and Sales. So it doesn't actually say Facebook. Nice. It says Facebook Group Growth and Sales. So if you go on Facebook and search for that, you'll be able to see it, and you can join. And I'm going to be dropping, you know, tips. I go live in there. I have about 300 members right now, but it's highly engaged, right? So nice. Yeah, come in, check it out. You know, see what I'm doing. I also have some cool lead magnets in there. You guys can check out. I have some Facebook Live headlines, template that I have in there. I also have a Facebook Live mini training in there as well. So if you're new to Facebook Live, or if you're one of those people that are, you know, super scared of going live, there's some really cool training in there as well. And yeah, that's how you can connect and learn more.
That is awesome. So I'll put the link down below for anybody who's looking for your Facebook group so that you can dive in and get more help. Because here's the thing, guys. We go further together. We go faster together. So don't try to learn everything all by yourself. There's other experts out there who know what they're doing. They know how to use these tools. They know how to get better results because of tools like Facebook groups, like Facebook ads, like LinkedIn. LinkedIn's huge. If you don't know how to use it, though, it's nothing more than a waste of time. So be sure you're not trying to do this all on your own. Be sure you're going out there, getting help, talking to the experts so that you can take your business to the next level. And with that, you guys, if we can serve in any way, reach out to us. We're here to be of service, and we will talk to you on the other side. So thank you, and have a great day.